All right. Good morning, everyone. It is another morning and another morning commute. We're on our way back to the other side of downtown, making our east-west journey from Canton to Holland's Market. Nice quiet morning this morning. Absolute silence, in fact, since you can't hear anything from the video. If people, if this actually gains some traction, if people actually start to watch these videos, I will try to figure out a way to make the audio quality better. As of right now, though, not worth it. As of right now, it might make the most sense to just. I don't even know if I'm going to keep doing this. I wanted to get this originally as a way to share what a typical commute in on a bicycle for me looks like, in particular. Um, I think that there's some folks that think it's like super dangerous for various reasons for me to be riding a bike to work. And I think that I wanted to share my experience because not only do I feel like it's not dangerous, I think that it is a great way to get around. Do I have lots of reasons to want things to be better? Certainly. But for me, on a daily basis, it's so much nicer to be out on my bike, feeling the breeze. I still have the autonomy of not being reliant on the, quite frankly, not great bus schedule of Baltimore City Transportation, or really MTA. But I'm not in the car, which is also something that I would hate. I will take the bus over the car every day, but I'll take the bike over the bus every day too. So yeah, I have my complaints. I want things to be better, but this is still far and away better than driving. Almost on the other side of Patterson Park. My shirt flapping in the breeze. Something that I'm becoming more and more aware of as the days pass is how I really, really need to take some time to do some maintenance on my bike. The brakes are getting kind of squeaky. In particular, the rear brake is getting kind of worn down. I think for a long time, I was buying cheap, third party isn't even the right word, but cheap brakes on Amazon that fit my system, and they they work. They're fine, but they wear down a lot more quickly, I think, than. And I don't feel like for third party is not the right word. It's like a first and second. I'm not even sure. So like you can buy brakes directly from Velatric. The my bike is a Velatric e-bike, the Discover One, and they cost I think $20 a pair. I'd have to double check that, but it's expensive. I mean, in the scheme of things, relative to, driving, going back to the topic of earlier, it's still much better. You know, the cost of maintaining a bicycle is just so much cheaper than maintaining a car. It's not even comparable. But 20 bucks for a pair of really small brakes that I'm going to have to replace every few months, I mean, it adds up. Whereas I was getting two pair, I think, or maybe it was a each pair. Yeah, I was getting two pair for $14 each. So, less than half the cost from Amazon. And so I used those for quite a while, but it occurred to me at a certain point, I think, that I was going through a lot of these breaks. And I went on to a bike supply site that I like, Modern Bike. I think it's called Modern Bike. They are one of the best websites that I've been able to find for buying bike parts online. I can't remember where they're based, but it's basically just a bike store that has a really good online presence, and they carry a lot of parts. And so I think it's like Iowa maybe. But so it's like it's just a shop that has a really good online store and all of the parts you could possibly need. And so I was able to find the Tectra. So again, so like that is it first party if it's the Tectra brakes, the ones that are made for the brake that I have on my bike, or is it first party if I get the brakes from Velatric, or are both of them first party? It's confusing. But I bought the Tectra brakes from Modern Bike, and they were somewhere in between the cost of the cheap Amazon ones, plus I'm not giving money to Jeffrey Bezos, and the Velatric ones. So happy medium, and they definitely wear uh, less quickly. They seem to just be made from more durable materials and less squeaky. However, I still haven't. I think I finally used my last pair of the cheap ones, and I need to. I'm at a point where I need to replace them. So, all that having been said, you might notice, at least for the next week, while I get to a point where I can finally. And actually, this is from Friday, so I'm sitting there like, I hope I have time. Didn't have time. To. Boat's gone. Work on my bike. Father's Day's coming up, so worst case scenario, I'm gonna pull the Father's Day card and use that time to work on my bike because it's not like my favorite task, but it's sort of relaxing and it's something that I need to do to take care of my bike. and it's somewhat satisfying that I'm able to maintain my bicycle myself. I have no idea why the Maryland and Baltimore flags are at half mast, but only at the World Trade Center? Interesting. Don't know. But you may notice that I will be a little easier on the brakes, not coming to a complete stop at every single intersection if I can avoid it. Once again, that intersection, the cars just keep rolling even when it's no longer their turn. But what else is new, I guess? I don't know. It is not unique to that intersection. If a car fits, it sits, seems to be the rule. And you might notice here that I'm going to kick it into high gear because by the time I get to the other end of this stretch, there's going to be about 10 seconds left on the crossing across Pratt Street. So I always, if you're down to like 3 or 4 seconds with the, I think that's Commerce Street, or maybe that's like South Charles or something. Or Calvert, it's definitely a C street. Um, when you're crossing that one, the and there's a few seconds left. If you go full speed, in my case, 20 miles an hour, over to this street, which is the Hopkins Place, then you'll get there just in time to cross Pratt. We got this delivery truck in the middle of the bus lane. I'm hopeful that the cameras that they're going to be activating, I've heard, I don't know when. I don't think they've been given us a timeline for this, but it has been approved and the money is there to put cameras in the bus lanes to stop vehicles from driving in and blocking the bus lanes, because that's not what they're there for. They're not there for cars. They're for buses and bikes. And maybe one day we'll have a dedicated bike lane too. This guy is crazy. Another delivery vehicle in the bus bike lane. It's fabulous. I don't understand. Like, and they even have little traffic cones. Like, they've just decided that this is something that they're allowed to do. Is just block. I don't know what the. I remember. So I remember the this thing with the green shirts. When we get down Lombard a little bit further. So here we're gonna do the scramble crossing. If you've never seen a scramble crossing before, there's actually one in downtown Baltimore, in front of the University of Maryland Hospital. See, there's something going on over here on the left, but I don't know what it is. Oh, and I have to tell you guys, I don't think, I mean, obviously there's not very many people watching these videos. Certainly no one getting to the point where they're even seeing anything in the videos. It's fine. Maybe someday. Maybe I will gain a reputation for being a dipshit that talks over his bike commute videos and welcome to Holland's Market, and maybe people will watch them. But I have been trying to figure out a way that isn't insane to blur out faces, and there isn't one, it seems. Um, I mean, I'm not paying for Adobe Premiere, which I imagine has some sort of AI face detection and blurring algorithm. Um, as a matter of fact, I'm doing all of this work on a Linux laptop that is a little bit more beefed up now. I was able to scavenge some RAM and get it working a little bit better, but it is still, I'm running OpenShot. So it does have the features to be able to do blurring, but it's all manual and very labor intensive. And there is a feature within YouTube to try and blur faces. The face detection is garbage somehow, and its ability to follow the faces when you just put one on manually is also garbage. So, anyway, thank you for listening and watching this far. If you have, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.